Hello, and thank you so much for dropping by this video. I'm really excited to share some life-changing, life-saving, and I would argue world-changing information with you. So what I'm going to be talking about, and in a very little bit practicing, is the idea that there is a life force, an energy that's accessible to all of us, and that this energy can actually heal the body. This energy can actually bring peace to the mind, healing to the heart. We've all had hurts from the past, but that this energy could actually heal that and relieve us of that hurt. That this energy can actually guide and inspire and even teach and lead us through this journey of life and lead us towards spiritual awakening, deeper levels of compassion, peace, presence. So I'm kind of promising a lot here, and I wouldn't be saying any of this if I hadn't experienced all of this for myself. I've experienced physical healings. I've experienced having a more peaceful mind. Hurts from the past have just been lifted from me. I've been through this practice of taking in this energy. I feel in some ways this energy is sort of a teacher in a sense. I've been taught so many things about life, about spirituality, about myself. A beautiful, beautiful example was there was this particular philosopher, and it's more like a spiritual philosopher in philosophy that I studied for a long time. Like, let's see, I started in 1999 very deeply studying this teacher named Ramana Maharshi in a philosophy called non-duality, studying, practicing. And I just could not make heads or tails of it, but I was drawn to it, but I just couldn't understand it. And I couldn't, it's like I couldn't really dive deep into it. It's like I could sort of access the surface. And within 3 months of really seriously doing this practice, which we're almost there, and we'll start, I suddenly understood it. I picked up the same book I'd been reading for over 10 years that made no sense, and it suddenly made sense. I could really understand what was being talked about. And they, and many people say that non-duality, this particular philosophy, is one of the hardest things to grasp or grok or understand spiritually. I don't know if that's true or not, but certainly it's a very hard subject to really get, as they say, to grok, meaning to really fully get it in your guts. And within a very short time, I understood it and it made sense to me. It's just through the simple practice of taking in this energy and a few other spiritual principles, which is what this channel is all about. So, hence I'm very excited to share this with other people. So, how to receive this energy? How to embark on this journey, that this amazing journey I've been on, and I am stoked to share. It's very simple. Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards, back in a relaxed, upright position. If possible, not leaning against your chair, but just this sort of relaxed, upright position. And then go ahead and close your eyes. And now hand over to your understanding of a higher power, to your understanding of God or life or universe, or just to this energy. Or if you have a spiritual teacher or helper or friend that you really trust, this channel is dedicated to the work of Bruno Gröning, who is a fierce spiritual helper. If you don't have one, I invite you to try him out. He's become a deep friend in spirit and helper to me. You just ask your helper for help to receive this energy. And then have the intention to receive this energy and observe your body, noticing what you're feeling while having the intention to take this energy in. I'm going to start some music, and please just relax and receive and have this intention to receive. So some people, some people, when they first try this, they don't feel anything. Some people instantly do. I didn't. It took me a couple times. I had a friend who, the first time he did it, he could feel and when I say feel, what I mean is feel the experience of the energy. And Some people, I had a friend who initially he felt something, but then he didn't feel anything for months. So if you're drawn to this, and then he had a healing, he had chronic neck pain of, I think it was like 15 years, and it just vanished. And after that, he could feel the energy. So if you're new to this and you don't feel anything, but you're drawn to what I'm saying, you're like, yeah, I do believe there is an energy. Please follow that draw and practice, and it will come, and healing will come. And Dancing David Starhart said, deep drop in. Yes. Thank you so much, brother. Thanks for joining in. And this practice is very simple, but it's also very profound. This idea of receiving, and then once we receive it, then to share. To not just share this energy, but to share this goodness and happiness and joy and love and peace. It's really just what life is all about. It's just like breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. So let's listen to another piece of music and just continue to notice what you feel. Just having that beautiful, beautiful intention to receive. So I started off this video by putting forth my conviction that this simple practice can change this world. How is that possible? Well, let's ask ourselves something that many people never ask. What is it possible? Environmental, political? Is it possible that they all have one? Most people, when they look at the world or they look at their own lives and try and fix their life or fix the world, they tend to go, well, I'm going to address this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem, this, and I'm going to work on this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do. And there's certainly some virtue or merit to that. However, if doing that is kind of like, and I don't like to use this metaphor, but I'll come up with a better one someday, trying to cut down, trying to cut down a poisonous bush. Imagine this giant poisonous bush. And what if that's trying to get rid of the bush by like trimming off leaves? Or maybe trimming off a branch, one branch at a time. If you never get at the root, it's just going to keep growing back. So my understanding is that every problem has one common source. Depending on your religious or spiritual belief, you might call it ego, or evil, or illusion, or delusion, or ignorance, Satan. There might be different, we all have maybe different beliefs and there's different understandings, but the important thing is to meditate on, is it possible that every problem in my life and every problem in the world has one source? And that until that source is removed, no problem, sure, we can, temporarily eliminate a problem, but then another one just comes back. So please, it's a very important question, because we all have problems and we all, in essence, we're happiness-seeking, problem-solving beings. We're all trying to move towards happiness, health, and harmony and away from unhappiness, disease, and disharmony. But what I'm asking is, maybe our approach has been completely backwards. Maybe we've just been trying to treat symptoms without getting at the root illness. Please don't take my word for it. Reflect on it. Find out for yourself. Let's listen to another piece of music. Maybe reflect on this question a little bit and take in this sacred, holy energy. Hmm. So, so as I said, I'm utterly convinced that all problems spring from one source. The word evil works for me. I understand many people have reservations about that word. I like the German word for evil, Bosse, because it also means nastiness, viciousness, evil, like this willful negative intent. But regardless of what you call it, we need to be very clear that there is an it behind all these things. And then we're not going to stop there because that would be very depressing news. Then that there is a power and force that is superior to that and is able to relieve us of that. And hence, relieving the cause can ultimately solve every problem. So, this idea of there being one thing that's blocking us from the supreme, from God, the good, enlightenment, oneness, different words, different traditions. This theme, you'll find it in pretty much every religion, every spiritual tradition. That there are two things. One of them is harmful and disconnects us from this one, from the supreme, and that this supreme power actually, with our will, with our intention to receive, to connect to that one, to the supreme, can help us to overcome the cause of all of our problems. But please, I'm sharing this having studied and practiced Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity, Sikhism, having explored not as deeply, but also still having explored pretty deeply Islam, Judaism. I've looked at all the major world religions and many smaller spiritual traditions, and you'll find this theme over and over and over. You'll heard it called by different names, but please don't take my word for it. Even don't take all these different traditions. What's important is that each person comes to know the truth inside themselves. And what I'm saying is very important, because if it's true, then it's absolutely essential that we seek out the one, the supreme God. Otherwise, we're just going to be circling and cycling through, trimming off branches. And in the metaphor, never getting at the root, never eliminating the poisonous bush that's infecting not only our lives, but this planet. So while this is a bit of a philosophical topic, it's of utmost importance, because otherwise we're going to be engaged in symptom management and never seeking to cure the disease, the root disease. So let's listen to another piece of music, continuing to receive, take in this goodness. So I'd like to thank everyone who took this time to practice together. And to anyone who's new, a very warm welcome. If you'd like to learn more about some of the ideas connected with this practice, I've created a course, and this isn't a sales pitch. The course is absolutely free, called Become a Master of Life. I'll post a link here in the chat box, and I'll post a link also below this video. So when I first found this, I didn't believe in God or a higher power. And through my own experience, the divine, the supreme, it's a fact. Because in my own body, I've experienced healings that are medically impossible. And I'm not the only one. This has been happening all throughout history. And so what I'm saying isn't a religion. It's not a cult. I'm not a guru. I don't want people to follow me. I want people to learn to follow this supreme and tune into the energy and be guided by that. So the clearest expression, so these are universal spiritual ideas that you'll find pieces of it all across history. And for me, the clearest expression of it happened that we have record of comes from 1949 to 1959 through the work of a man named Bruno Gröning. And what he said is that what he was teaching was just the teachings of Jesus Christ. And having studied his teachings and then looking at the written accounts of what Christ allegedly taught, I can finally understand that the teachings of Christ make sense to me now. And very different from what I call the religion that's been built around him. And Bruno Gröning said that if people had gotten the message 2,000 years ago, he wouldn't have needed to come. That he simply was coming to clarify what Christ actually taught. So, thank you so much for joining in. Once again, to anyone who's new, a very warm welcome. And let's close by asking this energy. I'll lead us through a short, you could call it prayer, but really where we're asking this energy to bless any people, any situations in our lives. So once again, having the intention to receive this goodness, I'm going to play a little background music. Let's see how that goes. One moment. One sec.
It's a fact.
All right, we got a commercial and then gonna listen to some sweet music. This reminds me of church a little bit. That's not my intention, but we'll just see how it goes. So please, the Supreme. We all maybe have a different word for God or the Supreme, but that which made us. Please, the highest blessing for us, for ourselves, for every person who watches this video. Please, for those who are close to us, who we really care about, let's take some time and just ask for them silently. Asking this energy to bless them, to flow to them. Everyone really dear to us. And anyone we care about who we know is struggling right now. Please. Let's ask for harmony in our homes, our neighborhoods, let this energy just shower our cities, our states, and the world we live in, this beautiful planet Earth, every living thing on it. And let's ask for ourselves that we turn to this energy, we turn to the Supreme to be connected to it, to be guided by it. Ultimately, that we just be guided by love and goodness. And for faith and trust in life, in love, in our source, in our maker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone who joined in and did this practice. And I say thank you because for me, we just cleaned up the planet a little bit. When we clean up ourselves, we clean up the world. So I hope everyone takes this good energy and good feeling and then just goes and shines it out and spreads it. There's so many ways to spread it. Making YouTube videos is one, but so is picking up a piece of trash or smiling at a stranger. Giving some food to someone who looks like they don't have enough food. So I wish everyone a beautiful day of receiving and sharing. Take care. So much love.